Welcome to another episode of the Conversation Timeout. I'm your host, Nando. As you know, guys, welcome back. Welcome back. Today, we continue the previews of the NFL season. Today, we finished the NFC North. We are talking about the defending NFC North champs. And yeah, let's get to it. All right. The Lions. The Lions. Can they capitalize on what they did last year? Is the big question. They went 12-5, won the division for the first time in years. Can they put it together again? Is the question. They're going to have stiff competition from the Packers uh, from the beginning of the year. Obviously, the Packers got a little hot at the end. They did beat Detroit on Thanksgiving last year. So that'll be the top matchup there in this division. Honestly, is this the race between those two uh, for the division? Uh, Players lost. For me, obviously, the the Lions losing C.J. Gardner Johnson is a big deal because um, not only like the impact on the field, which he might have not had like this crazy impact on the field, but I think for what the Lions persona is, I guess you could say, under Dan Campbell, he fit well, personality and everything. So that might be like a big loss there. On the line, Jonah Jackson. I really like Jonah Jackson. I thought that was a big loss. But anyway, they've made some acquisitions though that I think helped that out. So they went ahead and traded for Carlton Davis, cornerback from the Buccaneers. So they add to their backfield. They added DJ Reader from the Bengals. Good interior nose guy there. Kevin Zeitler, the veteran guard. I guess that makes up for losing Jackson. And in the draft, they went ahead and went corner, first and second round. They got Terrion Arnold, one of the top cornerbacks in the draft class out of Alabama. And then they got Ennis Rakestraw Jr., cornerback out of Missouri, who was highly rated by a lot of people. So, yeah, that is the additions and loss. Nothing really happened with the coaching staff. Ben Johnson did have a lot of interest in the coaching carousel, but he decided to stay where he was. You could look at that two ways, depending on how you look at some of these things as a fan, spectator, or whatever. You could look at it two ways. He decided to be loyal, stay with Dan Campbell and those guys, or he decided to stay to build on the interest and get crazy paycheck when he finally decides to accept um, what he's going to accept. So for me, like I said to start the show, for me with this team is, can they build on last year? Can they sustain what they did? Obviously, I think they have the team. Like, the losses were only like two people, and you can argue the impact that they had actually on the field. But they added some people to what they already had. Like DJ Reader, I think it's a good addition, and Carlton Davis. You can argue back and forth about how good he really is, but he might be, um, their best corner like right after the trade. So yeah, but yes, the main thing is, can they build on this? Can this offense stay or get better from what they did last year? Can this defense improve? You know, they're gonna, like I said, they're gonna get competition for the Packers from the beginning of the year, so they got to be up for that. For me, another thing is seeing Jameer Gibbs year two, how much more involvement he's getting. We know that they like David Montgomery. He's the pound guy, and how are they going to get Jameer Gibbs more involved in this offense? Because it felt like there was a couple of times when he touched it last year that it was explosive, and can they build on that as well? Another thing that I'm looking forward with this team is who comes after Amon Ra, St. Brown. Obviously, I'm a big Jameson Williams fan. He's a speedy guy, tall, out of Bama, and he finally put it together and be that number two that they drafted him to be for them. Finally, in his third year, we know that last year he was suspended for a couple games because of possible gambling and stuff. Um, so we'll see. I think that is like the biggest question for me is can they keep can they build Jameson Williams up to be the second option? Obviously, we know that they have Sam Laporta going into the second year. Had a big rookie year as a tight end. He's definitely a weapon, but you know, can Jameson Williams be the third weapon in general, but also the number two receiver? Because I think he can do different things than Amara can do, and that is you want that versatility there. So it'll be interesting to see like in terms of what they decide to do there because I personally want to see um Jameson Williams step it up because I think this it'll add to this offense, honestly. Um yeah, it will. So yeah. They have as far as schedule goes, they actually start their preseason tomorrow in New York against the Giants. And we don't know who's gonna play. That's always the thing with these coaches. We don't know who's going to play in these games, but I'll be tuning in for a little bit on a lot of these games. Maybe like the first half of things. They do start the season with a playoff rematch against Los Angeles. It's the Sunday night game, the first Sunday night game. It's at home again. Stafford comes back to Detroit again. Then they get another playoff rematch. They host the Buccaneers once again, like they did in the playoffs. And then they go to Arizona, then back home for Seattle, and then they have the week 5 bye. So I can see them being 4-0 after this easily. And I can also see them being 3-1. It's, in the air. You can never count Seattle out of anything. They'll play you tough all the time. The Buccaneers, they improve completely. Um, I'm not completely sure, but I'll get more into that when it's time to preview the Buccaneers. Uh, and then the Rams, honestly, it's almost the same question as the Buccaneers that they get better than they were, and obviously we know what happened when they first met when they met in the playoffs. Detroit was better, and they were able to get that win. So yeah, and then they get into a little bit of a tougher schedule, if you want to call it that. But I think that they will be fighting with the Packers for the division. I think you can see a similar record than last year, 12-5, and it'll be between them and the Packers, and it might come down to tiebreakers, but they both should make the playoffs, still, unless bearing injuries. So I think the top of this division is going to be Packers Lions. I won't predict well, yeah, I will predict the winner will be the Packers. Packers win the division. The Lions will still get in and be the wild card and give teams some headaches there. But this team, I look to build. rebuild. I mean, not rebuild, but build on what they did last year. And it'll be exciting. See how many kneecaps they can eat. You know what I mean? So yeah. All right, guys. Once again, I keep mentioning it, but because it's going on and I haven't really talked about it because of these previews, maybe I'll do a special episode this weekend. But we're focused on this. Tomorrow we start the AFC North. We'll start with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and we'll go from there, guys. Yeah. Until next time, thank you for tuning in. Peace.